last week we were playing around with the triquetra versus pendulum or triquetra versus extension weave with one hand. This week we're going to play around with how to use this in a three-poi kind of context to give yourself some interesting tribrids to play with. One thing I'm going to ask you to practice real quick in order to get ready for this is actually to switch back and forth between doing the pendulum versus triquetra and doing the extension. So on one side is pendulum, on the other side extension. On one side pendulum, on the other side extension. Like so. It's essentially a timing change as you're doing this. So the front end winds up being slower than the back end. And it's necessary for the last trick that I'll show you on here. So first and foremost, one very easy tribrid that this sets up is actually to go triquetra versus pendulum versus pendulum. And it actually requires you to slow down that triquetra versus pendulum by quite a lot in order to keep it stable. And of course, mad poi theory geek that I am, what I like about this, number one, is that it's one of the easier tribrids to do with this. And number two is that it provides the lines that you get both with hands together triquetra versus pendulum, as well as hand and poi relationship triquetra versus pendulum at the same time. If you want to level up just a little bit, we can go to that triquetra versus extension. That's a little bit faster. And we can add in the other poi doing just a simple reverse 2 beats, like so. This then becomes an extension versus triquetra versus static that's working in a weave kind of scenario. And I really like it because those relationships actually become really, really clear in the course of doing this move, where I have the hand-to-poi head relationship as well as the hand-to-hand relationship, as it were. Whew! Beware the tangles. Finally, and this one's a bit of a challenge, is to actually think of what the pinky end poi is doing is slightly different in here. And coming at it from the perspective of thinking like it's a 1.5. So on one side we're going to do pendulum, on the other side we're going to do extension. On one side pendulum, on the other side extension. Like we're doing a 1.5, right? This is the reason I suggested learning this move in such a way that you can do extension on one side, and pendulum on the other side. Excuse me. Pendulum on one side, extension on the other. Pendulum on one side, extension on the other. Because we can then do this as almost like a 1.5, where we're doing pendulum, extension, pendulum, extension, pendulum, extension. Hang on. Extension, pendulum, extension, pendulum, extension, pendulum. It's really easy to fall into the trap of having the other hand do the same move on each side. So it winds up being pendulum here, static here, pendulum here, static here, which, you know, is another possibility, absolutely. But I don't think it's nearly as cool as having them inverting each other's behavior. Like so. Yeah. Anyway, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you're having a good week, and I will see you next week with plenty more poi tech fun. Peace. Hi, thanks so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. Doing so will help other people find my content, and it lets me know that I'm creating videos that are worth seeing. Also, check out my website at drexfactor.com. There, you can purchase sets of poi like the ones I use in my videos, and get access to a great range of written inspirational content, plus which you can subscribe to my videos there in the form of a podcast. Finally, if you go to flowtoys.com, you can enter in my special promo code and get a small discount on your order. Doing these things helps support me in my flow journey, and it means that I can make more videos for you guys. So, thank you in advance for your support.